Hey guys, we are working on practice sheet 6 and we're going to look at the first problem. I know it seems like a long word problem, but we have to know how to get through these. So it says, and I'm going to mark as I read, a family of 6 buys cheeseburgers for each of their family members. The cheeseburgers are $2.48 each. Lots of each. Okay, the mom buys a large bag of hot Cheetos for $3.59 to share with the family member. So she just bought one bag. What is the total cost of the meal if the tax on the meal is $1.22? Okay, so a lot of times there's not tax on food items when you go to the grocery store, but if you're buying it at a restaurant, then they do charge tax on it. Okay, so hopefully we know we're looking for total. Total tells us to add. Now what all are we going to add? Well, we have to add the cheeseburgers. Each one costs $2.48. So your job is to multiply that by 6 because we have 6 family members. Whatever we get, we're going to add to the cost of the Cheetos, right? That's going to give us a total. Okay? And then whatever we get there, we still have to add tax. Okay? We're not being asked to calculate tax. We're being asked to use tax in our total. Okay? So multiply to find the cost of the cheeseburgers. Add that to the cost of the hot Cheetos. And then add tax. Okay? Pretty straightforward. Something we should all understand how to do. Make sure your answer is reasonable. Number 2, make improper. So remember Texas, TX, multiply and add. So remember the 7 is going to stay the same on the bottom, right? And you multiply 7 times 3, whatever you get, add 5 to that. That goes on top. That's our improper fraction. I hope you're listening so you know that. Make it mixed, not a decimal. That is just divide, okay? We don't make it a decimal. We take whatever the remainder is and put that on top, okay? 9 won't go into 5. I'm going to let you finish this now. Just for fun, I'm going to remind you of the 9s. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So use that. Whatever you have left goes on top. Your denominator stays a 9. Okay. Number 4, guys, this means divide. Some of you know that. Some of you, I'm not sure how you're getting your answers, to be honest. Triangle or tic-tac-toe, right? So your job is to do that. And guess what? We already have our 9s right there. Okay. Number 5, hopefully we know this would be an arrow problem. It's direction. Okay, so this, remember, minus a negative becomes a plus. Now, if you're listening, I'm not going to write it. It's different, difference, subtract. 28 goes on top, so I would put 28.0 and put 13.7 below it to subtract. Different, difference, subtract. Okay, this one, circumference. We've done one super similar to this. So first thing is we have to label this, radius or diameter. And hopefully you remember it is diameter. This is what we did in that lab, right? Where it goes all the way across. We counted all the way across. So now I need to find circumference. Circumference, and I need the diameter. C equals pi d. Oops. I lost. There we go. C equals pi D. Remember, substitute? We've done it lots of times. Means put in the numbers. Plug the numbers in. Plug the numbers in. Put them in. Instead of pi, I put, hopefully we know it, 3.14, but if we don't, it's on our formula chart. Right down there. Pi is 3.14. Okay? And our diameter is 37. Okay? So multiply that. I'm just going to remind you, we don't line up decimals when we're multiplying and dividing. We only line them up when we're adding and subtracting. So your job is to multiply and then count over the spaces. Count over the spaces. Okay. Number 7. This is a basic multiply problem. Just like that one. 12. I know because these parentheses. Okay, I'm going to tell you, don't put the decimal wrong, okay? When you finish this, don't put any decimal in here. No decimal in here. Not until the end. 1, 2, and then you would count it over. 1, 2. Okay? Please multiply that carefully. Okay. Number 8. Cassidy drove 272 miles in 4 hours. So just to give you a heads up, we call this a rate. It's a rate because it's comparing two units with different, that are different. 272 miles in 4 hours. Miles and hours are different, okay? So what is Cassidy's average speed? Well, hopefully you understand that speed would be like miles per hour, right? We've probably seen that before. Miles per hour. I'm literally going to write it miles per, my pen, per 4 hours. And guys, hopefully you know, remember that bar means divide. You should not have a remainder on this, but I will give you a hint. We put an X there. You're dividing it. Whatever you get, MPH, miles per hour. Okay? So if you need to, list your 4s to the side. Okay? Number 9. We're dividing again. So I'll move over here so we have room. 28 and 453 thousandths divided by 0.4. So when we're dividing, guys, please, decimal first. Move it once to the end, which means I move it once here, which means I need something over each number. May not be a number. For instance, 4 into 2 won't go, but 4 will go into 28 and it will go evenly. So finish your 4s over here. Okay, remember, does McDonald's sell burgers? And you might end up with 2. You know what? I'm going to change this before I print it. Let's change this. Let's do... So we're just going to change this last digit to a 2. That way the number, it's going to work out prettier. Otherwise, it's pretty ugly, to be honest. Okay. So I'm going to print this again. Well, not again. I haven't printed it yet, but when I print it, I will make sure I do this one. Okay. Let's try again. Move it once. Move it once. Decimal there. 4 into 2 won't go. So you should have a number over the 8, the 4, the 5, the 2. And I don't think you have to add a 0 here. Okay. Anyway, you can thank me later for making that an easier problem. And last, for whatever reason, I can do these all year long and we still struggle. Area of a triangle is right here. triangle. Half BH. Okay. Substitute. Remember, put in numbers. Plug in the numbers. I see a number. I start with half. The base and the height, guys, that should form a right angle, okay? I know it's not this. Clearly, that is not a right angle, okay? So 45.3. I should put the units, but I'm not going to because I want you to focus on the numbers right now. We'll put the units in our answer. So you can do one of two things. You can do 45.3 times 22, if that's how you learned it. 45.3 times 22, then divide by 2. To me, that's a backup method. I like to do half of 22. So what is half of 22? And then multiply by 45.3. Now the good news is at this point now you're only multiplying by a 1, right? And then you'll count over the spaces. Put your answer in this box with the units. Okay? Guys, I hope you are doing these problems one by one.